A 30-year-old man in California will spend the rest of his life behind bars for abominably attacking his girlfriend's 2-year-old son, torturing, beating, drugging, and sodomizing the child with an unknown object. The scumbag, the evil psychopath in question, Jeremy Dawn Wilson, has been ordered to serve a life sentence in prison without the possibility of parole for the 2020 attack on the boy. The county sheriff said, "Today we see the rightful sentencing of a monstrous individual who committed vile acts against an innocent 2-year-old child. This life imprisonment stands as a resolute message that such abhorrent behavior will not be tolerated, will never be tolerated, and we will relentlessly protect our community's most vulnerable citizens." I'm going to applaud that. I support life in prison for this absolute piece of shit, and I agree with the county sheriff's words that it does send a message to the wider community that this abhorrent behavior will not be tolerated. So this is in regards to an incident which happened February 2020 in a neighborhood called Forest Hill in California. The 2-year-old was found by his mother and immediately rushed to the emergency room. Doctors told investigators that the boy had over a dozen fresh adult bite marks covering his entire body. He suffered extreme bruising and swelling on his face and mouth. In addition, the 2-year-old had bruising, lacerations, and an abrasion on his genitalia. In summary, the boy was tortured, beaten, drugged, and sodomized with an unknown object in his own home. Who would do such a thing? Well, we know the guy's name, Jeremy Dawn Wilson, thankfully sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And guess what? Yes, that's right. He was the live-in boyfriend of the victim's mother. We've heard that before, haven't we? The mother's boyfriend tortured the child. We come across this a lot. So if we were to ask ourselves why this scumbag would do such a terrible thing, beat, drug, sodomize a 2-year-old boy, his girlfriend's son, why would he do that? Well, obviously because he's sick in the head. That would be one answer. But a more detailed answer would be because he was angry at the mother. He was frustrated with the mother for whatever reason. Hey, guess what? I'm married. I've got a wife. I get frustrated with her. She gets frustrated with me. It's part of life. We deal with it. Not always in the best possible way, but, we deal with it. As does everyone else on this planet, apart from this sick cunt. He was frustrated, angry at his girlfriend, the child's mother, and he thought, you know what I'll do? My girlfriend loves her son, so I'm gonna hurt her son. I'm gonna beat her son. I'm gonna drug her son. I'm gonna torture her son. I'm gonna bite her son. I'm gonna beat, bruise, attack, sodomize her son because I'm annoyed at her. So he purposefully caused severe pain to the 2-year-old boy out of spite, and he's shown no remorse. So I hope and pray that the boy concerned has made a full recovery. He would be 5 years, perhaps 6 years old at this point. So hopefully he's come over the physical harm that was inflicted upon him by his mother's boyfriend. And hopefully he overcomes the trauma, mental trauma, emotional trauma, psychological trauma that he would undoubtedly have had inflicted upon him. I've had one commentator previously remind me that humans, and perhaps particularly children, are extremely resilient. We're adaptable, we're flexible. We can cope with a shit ton, pardon my French. We can cope with a lot. Trauma can affect us. Perhaps it's inevitable that it will affect us, but at the same time, a lot of us, not necessarily all, but a lot of us can cope with a great deal, especially if we're provided with assistance, therapy, support from loved ones. Perhaps especially if we're able to face the issues relatively early in life, be able to process them, and ultimately recognize that their innocence as being a victim, they're innocent. They did nothing to provoke such attacks. I mean, that's my understanding, is that a lot of people blame themselves. I guess a lot of us, most of us, all of us, I think perhaps a lot of us, can tend to be introspective to try to self-evaluate, try to analyze the situation. And part of that analysis is, hey, look, is my take on this right? Am I looking at this the wrong way? What did I do wrong here? Yeah, perhaps there's something wrong with me. And a lot of people that are victimized in one way or another think that. I'm thinking that perhaps that's not entirely relevant in this case, given the boy was so young, 2 years old. But maybe it is relevant. Maybe his introspection will come at a later point. I don't know. I'm going on a bit of a ramble, I guess. I'm very, very glad that the scumbag in question has been given life in prison with no opportunity for parole. That's absolutely the best sentence, the most appropriate sentence for this scumbag, Jeremy Dawn Wilson, 30 years old, purposefully tortured and SA'd his girlfriend's 2-year-old son. I'm very glad that the 2-year-old boy has survived. We're told that he was found by the mother and immediately rushed to the emergency room. We're not provided with any further update or information in regards to the boy's condition, but I would presume, guess, hope, and pray that he has already made a full recovery physically. To the mother, I say, I'm sorry that this happened to your child, but I'm also going to at least somewhat point some portion of blame to the mother. She did the right thing. As soon as she saw her child injured, she rushed him to the hospital. She did the right thing in that regard, but could she have known that her boyfriend was an utter psychopath? Yeah, I think that she could have known that. I don't know that for sure, but I think that if you're in a relationship, you're living with somebody who is capable of doing the awful things that this scumbag did, there would have been other significant signs that he was a pervert, that he was sick in the head, that he was violent. I could be wrong, but I think that the mother likely could have done more to protect her child prior to the incident. Basically got the F away from this scumbag weirdo. But for whatever reason, I don't harbour too much hate or such towards the mother. I wish her the best moving forward, I guess. I hope that she is a loving mother and is able to provide her 2-year-old son and any other children the support they need. I also hope that the scumbag in question is afforded ample time in general population, such that the other inmates and even the guards can regularly have nice little chats with him, speak to him about his treatment of his girlfriend's 2-year-old son, ask him how he would feel if such injuries were placed upon him. How would he like that? How would he like to be physically tortured, scared for his life? I'm not going to go through the full details of the direction I'm going, so I'm going to wrap things up at this point. If you appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. Again, please don't watch too many of my videos. Almost every last one of the videos I make are dark, and watching too many can affect your mental health. So dip in, dip out, subscribe, unsubscribe, do whatever you have to do. Watch a lot of kidden videos, that's what I do. Gonna move on to the next subject. Take care.